Welcome everyone to Multifamily Deals and Dollars podcast. My host Kiran and I have special guest with me, Rodrigo Parada. He's a commercial real estate investor. He is CEO and founder of Harbor Capital. And did I say that right?
Triple Harbor Capital.
Triple Harbor Capital and Triple Harbor because you have two more partners. That's
That is correct.
amazing. And I have known you for quite some time, and I just want to let you know that I'm your one of the biggest fan.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I have seen your how much experience you have, how much knowledge you have, and learned so much from you. And it's just amazing. We get to know you, and so let's share with our audience more about you, how your journey, how you got into real estate.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction, Kiran. And it's both ways, right? Like we've known each other for a while, and I've seen also your growth and what you're working on. So I think a lot of people will benefit to get from your experience. So yes, a bit about myself. So I was born and raised in Montreal, Quebec, and before working or being full time in real estate, I had a management position at a railroading company in Canada. And I got into real estate in 2018 by basically buying a fourplex in a secondary market in Quebec with my brothers, my dad, and my wife. So it always was a JV type of approach to me structuring deals. First started with the family, right? So we started with smaller multifamily with residential mortgages, and we had a lot of success up until call it around 2020, so around COVID and 2021, where I think a lot of retail investors get to in Canada, where our debt to income ratio was capped out. So even though we were worth more money from a financial perspective, we weren't able to get any more loans under our personal name. And that's when the wonderful world of commercial real estate was brought into my life. And where we actually started to connect when we started networking and getting to the groups that took me to the next stage.
That's great. And then also believing in yourself that you can do it, right? Because like opportunities come and to everyone, but it takes a lot of courage. Believing in ourselves that we can do it, and we are not the average person. Like eat, sleep, and then be the same, like comfort life, right? We want to do something different, being the better person than yesterday, right? So every acquisition for you was bigger, bigger, and bigger, and that's what the growth is. So what kind of real estate, what's your focus? How do you find properties for yourself, and what's your experience has been?
So that's a great question because I think this can help different investors at different stages, right?
Mhm.
So obviously the first thing that you're going to get introduced to is the MLS.
Mhm.
So realtor.ca or Centris as we have in Quebec or any other local alternative in the provinces. And that's where all deals are listed. Then, as you get more comfortable in this industry, and also as you start networking, which is also another important factor, then you start being exposed or introduced to different ways of getting leads. So
Mhm.
that could be wholesaling, that could be pocket listings from certain realtors because you have done deals and you got the capacity to close. But also it could be, institutional firms like the JLL and the Avison Young and the big ones, right?
Mhm.
That have a different portfolio. So I think that where I am currently now in 2025 in terms of my lead generation is a healthy mix of everything. However, looking back on my journey, I can definitely tell you that the biggest effort in terms of lead generation needs to be put into the people in building relationships, in expanding your network so that you have access to more opportunities than just somebody that's doing one channel.
Right. And it's also it's not only the money, then, like you found a deal and you gather your own funds, or, you raise money. And it is also the intellectual currency, right? So once you buy the property, and it takes a lot of skills to maximize its potential. And every contractor is different, and every even the way deals are closed is different. The financing strategy, do I directly go to CMHC? Do I take bridge financing? Do I do even like, like the full 100% all capital and then take to the bridge? I think it takes a lot of those skills and experience. And it's not the property only itself. Would you agree?
I totally agree, and I'll even add something on top of
Mm.
that. Um, Initially, when we start off, or when we're somewhat beginning in this venture, we have a tendency to simply focus on the acquisition because that's what's sexy,
Mm.
right? That's
Yes,
what
yeah,
social
just buy
media
it, yeah.
worthy. But the acquisition, when you think about the life cycle of a real estate asset, is such a small blip.
three
It's
months
such a,
you got the deal.
there you go. So although I agree that and that the acquisition portion and all the knowledge associated with it is extremely important, we should not undermine or under evaluate the importance of the operational.
Mhm.
The operational is where the good investors are going to shine, because you might not have it at the price that you want when you acquired it, but if you know what to do with the asset and secure your exit, whatever that exit is, you can have success in multiple market cycles if you understand that.
Right. And also, when you already closed on the deal and if things go south, how do you find the solutions, right? Like reaching out to the team, reaching out to different skills person, and also learn, like, using the previous experience, right? And it also takes about a lot of courage and the mindset. you know Somebody can, if the problem comes, and somebody can just give up, right? Like, let's just sell the building. And somebody can think about, no, I'm going to reach out, I'm going to find a solution, and we are in this together, and we are going to do it, no matter what happens. Because if it was easy, then everybody will do the commercial real estate, right?
No, exactly. And there's also an important fact behind all of this is you're going to learn how to grow and evolve in this industry as you're doing things. You
Mhm.
can take a lot of classes, you can take a lot of mentorship, you could have somebody show you how to do it, but until you're actually the one calling
Doing it.
realtors, structuring deals, negotiating, setting up your financing, signing contracts, paying for, your legal counsel to ask questions to set everything up, there's not that same level of involvement and also experience gathering in those two cases. So to your point, I do believe that the team, the stakeholders, the people that are working with you, whether it's your investors or your working partners or general partners, they just become a whole that helps you tackle these challenges, because there's always going to be challenges.
No matter what happens, yeah, there's going to be challenges. Markets will change, rules will change. And actually the properties, right? Like, you found out something else in the property, right? And we need to focus on, why are we doing this? Look at our own goal, and look at our investors goal. And it's a team. It's not a solo game, right?
Yep.
What would you suggest to the audience? Somebody like, I feel like usually people focus on smaller condos, and then they see that pre-sales don't work, and then they bought a single family house. Now the property value is down, or they're struggling with mortgage payments. The income is not enough to support, or people get laid off, right? They are looking for something to get into commercial financing. There is a hesitation that people have, that it's too hard, and they have never done it before. What do you suggest to somebody who is looking to get into commercial deals, and what should they do?
First things first, before looking to put anything under contract, before doing an acquisition, that person would need to surround themselves with the right tribe, meaning network, talk to people who have done this, find a form of mentorship, whether it's paid or not, so that you're able to mitigate the risks associated with this type of acquisition. Because as you just put out, there's so many unknowns, there's
Mm,
fears also incorporated with it. So you need that level of support that you
mm,
get from peers, right?
mm,
That would be my most important thing. And then as you're doing that, make sure that your house is in order. And what I mean by that is your finances. Know your numbers, understand how that conversation goes with lenders and banks and mortgage brokers, because they're there to help, right? But
right.
you got to speak their language. So the
Mm,
sooner that we get familiar with the terminology, with the way that these conversations are going to go, the less intimidating that they become, and the more productive they end up being, right? So those two things together for somebody who's trying to get into this will greatly facilitate that first acquisition.
absolutely. And then other thing I feel that commercial properties are, they are big purchase price, and then people look at it and then say, oh, it's huge, how I'm going to get that 500K 600K down payment, and then how I'm going to get financing, right? And so I feel on those acquisitions, rather than being like overwhelmed, I would say partner up, right? Partner up people that who has done it before, and then having a trust. A lot of people, they don't know that all these acquisitions are done on their legal, and their legal paperwork done, and your capital is secured against the property. And I was talking to one of my friend about like partnerships and like the buildings, and she mentioned that she had a very bad experience with previous partner, and they bought a gas station together, and there was nothing on the paper. The other partner had the real estate portion, and then her portion was due on the inventory. So there's no, it's that legal education was not there, that maybe put everybody's capital on the real estate if something goes wrong. I think that also part is missing. That the first thing is feels like too much for somebody to do on their own, and they're hesitant to partner up. So what's your how can somebody um, how can we help somebody like our audience, that they are scared of partnerships, and how can they find the right partner if they don't have the experience, they don't have the skills to get into commercial
Okay.
deal.
Yeah, my answer to that is going to be two parts. First part is I've always used this analogy to talk about this. It's basically a partnership is just like a marriage, and ideally before you get married, you want to date. So you need to spend time with this potential partner to understand who they are, what they are, but also what they bring to you as a partner. Because it's not because somebody says that they want to work with you that they're necessarily the right fit. So
Mhm.
there's a lot of emotional intelligence that has to be put forth in that particular situation to understand if you're the right fit with this potential person. And then that leads to my second part of the answer, which is do not do not make the mistake of not spending capital on legal counsel, right? Initially, when we talk to lawyers, it feels extremely intimidating, and I get that. But also, you need to understand that once you're in that setting, especially with a potential partner, and you're asking for their counsel on how to structure this so that you are both protected, the business is protected, you're both protected on each other, and there's no gray zones. So do not underestimate the value of that. And if it means that you need to pay for a couple of sessions so that you're both aligned and you make sure that you have the right legal paperwork to go forward with the partnership, then at least you know that you can sleep well at night, and you just have to worry about the business and not the partnership.
Right. And then once you learn that lingo, the language, right, like the lawyer, and then it becomes easy, and the lawyers help out understanding what those terms mean, and also the worst case scenario, right, like multiple, you enter into the deal and this thing can happen. How do we make sure that what happens in that situation, right, like if this thing happens, what are your what can you do if this happens, and if the project goes south, and how are you secured, and your capital is secured. And I feel like education and experience, and it makes a big difference in real estate, and somebody can build wealth, if they have the right partners, right skills.
Absolutely. And in full transparency, like our business is now a case study for our lawyers in
Hmm.
Alberta as to what not to do in a partnership because we
Yes.
made mistakes, right? And
Mhm.
it's a running gag and we're okay with it. It's fine. But you're not going to have all the information all the time. You're not going to know everything from the get go. The important thing is that you make sure that you're protected for the majority of these things and that you're always focused on the deal itself, making sure that it succeeds rather than trying to siphon everything out of it, right? Like if you have that mentality, that approach, you'll be fine. But to the audience and everybody that wants to get into this, like don't think that you'll know everything from the get-go. You always learn. You learn on a daily basis. The important thing is to not make the same mistakes over and over again.
Yes, absolutely. And then also learn from somebody else's mistakes, right? Learn from somebody else's experience, right? So when I came on a student visa, and I did not know anything about like a real estate, because in India we just buy houses. There's no mortgage on it, and people save money and they buy cash, right? When I came to Canada, I had no idea that what does mortgage is, what does amortization is, what is a down payment, and also the possibilities you have to generate another source of income. And I learned from other people that make sure that you do not over leverage yourself, that whatever the bank says that you can qualify for this much, do not max out that. Like if you can afford a 500K house, you don't need to buy a 500K house. Like
No,
you look at what do you need, right? And then spend more time with your family. Then I learned about pre-sales, right? Pre-sales, I feel like it's a gambling, because if I'm buying today, I don't know what the 3 years or 4 years that property is going to be worth it. If I want to buy, I should be able to buy, more less than the property is worth. So I learned from other people's mistakes. Like now, even now, people are having hard time closing on those deals, and I feel so bad that people saved so much money to put for the down payment, and now they're losing that money, right? So I want to help out those people that there is a way. You want to buy real estate, there is a way that rather than single family, you know get into commercial financing, learn from other people, learn from their mistakes, learn from the skills, and leverage other people's experience, other people's team, other people's network, right? Like at Triple Harbor, I know you guys have walked away from so many deals,
yes,
right? And then like to come to one deal is like a solid deal, and analyzing the market, going into the right strategy, right market, and at the right time with multiple exits. And it takes a lot of skills, a lot of experience, and a lot of teamwork.
absolutely. It wasn't done overnight. Let me tell you that.
Yes, yeah. And
The
and
sorry, just if I could add something about the single family and the situation that a lot of people are in their first acquisition. Like yes, we have this tendency, and I'm not a first generation immigrant, but I was born from parents who are immigrants, so I understand the mindset and the differences when we get into a different environment and learning the way that these things work out. But the point that I'm trying to make is, we're talking about commercial real estate, but there's also small multifamily that's out there that has the same rules, the same way of valuating the assets as a single family home. So if we're talking about being able to mitigate risk in the different market cycles, house hacking is definitely one of the quote unquote safest first ways of getting into real estate, right? Because you're going to get exposed to obviously the acquisitions, but also the management dealing with the tenant. And then that opens up more doors. So there are solutions out there. It's like you said, it's just about looking at it from a different perspective and switching our paradigm when we have these situations presented to us.
Right. And the gratification, I believe, is also a big thing, right? We want things today, and we wanna, we wanna go out on vacation. We wanna have luxury things, right? Like we can all buy those things, but let's build a business. Build a business that can generate that income to buy those things cash, right? And
100%.
like me and my husband, we did house hacking so many times. I can't even think about when we did not. Right, and then we focused on more first on like a real estate, and then focusing on the cars, and then focus on our own education, because these things like the liabilities are will always be there. Let's build our assets, focus on real estate, and then we can buy these things.
There you go.
Yeah, like there will be always Bentley, right? So
There's going to be a different model that you're going to end up buying, Kiran.
right, so but it will be less stressful, for those payments. So that's how I want to talk to our audience, that don't focus on getting the things that I want, these things and these things, but focus on what do you need, and how do you get your what you want, with another source of income and third source
Yep,
of income.
I agree.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Rodrigo. It's amazing, talk to you always. And so, one last thing, what are you working on right now? And how can our audience reach out to you?
Okay, so what we're currently working on right now is our third investment fund that we just launched at the beginning of July. This is a fund that's going to be operating for 3 years, focused on multifamily assets in the prairies. So value add assets. We're not doing new builds or development. So we're currently focused on that. We've already acquired 2 assets. We're probably going to be going for a third one by the end of the year. So for the next little while, I'll be focusing on that at the fund level. And apart from that, just enjoying life, being there for my family, helping my kids with homework is more on the day-to-day stuff that I'm working on. And where can people reach me? The easiest way is through LinkedIn, Rodrigo Parada. You'll see my face there. I might have a bigger beard, but it's still me. That's the easiest way to reach out to me and for me to answer in the shortest amount of time as possible.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the show, Rodrigo. It's always a lot of knowledge and a lot of experience, going through your experience and get from you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.